What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
The Arthurian legend with a twist is now one of the most popular upcoming series on Netflix. And you can't help but notice Katherine Langford, the star of 13 Reasons Why, another Netflix original series, is going to be the main heroine in this legendary series. Pun intended. With the internet buzzing about the who's, the what's, and the when's, we decided to take a look at Cursed, everything you need to know. So let's jump right into it and demystify this old tale of the Excalibur and its heir. When? First things first, we need to talk about the release date of this major series that's supposed to hit Netflix this summer. It seems like the show is going to be here sooner than later. The release date of the series is set to be July 17th, 2020. Thank God the pandemic didn't meddle in the release date of this series like it did for so many others out there. If you were wondering about the number of episodes, this show is going to have 10 for its first season, and they are all going to be ready for streaming on the date of release. So, if you were thinking about binging another mystical series, Netflix has got you covered. What? Now we have to look at what this series is going to be about and what it's going to talk about. So, we'd have to start with the trailers. Judging from the two that have been released so far, we're in for some epic adventure. One of them has around 2.3 million views and the other around 2.7 million views, and the fans are dying to find out more about this series. The number of dislikes is insignificantly low, which means the trailer is doing a kick-ass job. So we can safely say that this time, it's not going to be Arthur that recovers the sword, but Nimue, the Lady of the Lake. In the original story, Arthur is the man, boy, that actually pulls the sword out of the anvil in which it was stuck, and as per the prophecy, Arthur became the king of the land. In another version of this story, yeah, there are a few of them, the Lady of the Lake gifts the sword to Arthur. In his last battle, the king was mortally wounded, and he orders one of his knights to cast the sword into the lake where one hand caught it, and that's when Excalibur vanished forever. The Netflix original series seems to be playing a little twist on the second story. In the trailer, we saw that Nimue's mother gave her the sword after smashing that like button if you haven't done that already, but in all seriousness, she gave Nimue the sword after their village was burned, pillaged, and destroyed by the Red Paladins. She entrusted her daughter with the mission to give the sword to Merlin and not meddle with its destiny. But things took on a very different turn when she is surrounded by a pack of wolves and wields the sword against her mother's orders. The new twist of the book. As you already might know, this series is based on the novel Cursed, which was written by Thomas Wheeler and illustrated by Frank Miller, who's also famous for working on the movies Sin City and 300.
Madness. This is Sparta!
And both of these guys are actually the writers of the 10 episodes in the series. Wheeler is even one of the showrunners there. Guess they wanted to see how Wheeler envisions the unraveling of his story. The thing that's interesting about this novel is that the author wanted to add a feminist twist to this entire story. Since Nimue's village was destroyed and most of the villagers slaughtered, the author wanted to put her in the spotlight as she brings justice to her community. Even though this is not your usual story where the hero saves the day and woos the damsel in distress, it sure helps to even the playing field by showing us that girls can be equally as heroic as the boys. And it's precisely this feministic twist on the story that pushed Netflix into production of the series. Shalom Brune Franklin said in an interview, "Our version of the story is female-driven and very different. I grew up watching Xena, Warrior Princess, and it reminds me of that. There are some amazing female characters, and our take on Morgan is really refreshing. Instead of being a wicked witch, she's a tough freedom fighter."
Just a precaution. There were only 2 guards.
I know, otherwise I would have had more helmets.
The Witch Hunt. Ah, 16th century England and their witch hunts. Doesn't that bring back fond memories? Well, we sure hope it doesn't. But that's the actual story of Katherine Langford and her Excalibur. She lives in a village that is comprised mostly of women and men who are druids and practice magic, which will be the cause of their demise. As we said, since magic is unacceptable for the Red Paladins, who were actually brainwashed by the church into thinking that any woman wielding magic powers is inherently bad and evil, they decide the only solution to rid themselves of the magic is to purge or purify anyone wielding it. How do we do that? By burning them alive, of course. And we know there's going to be a few scenes where this happens because we got to see a little preview of one in the trailer. However, this doesn't sit well with our heroine. Angered by this genocidal act, Nimue sets out to find Merlin and give him the sword. But instead, she decides to use it as a tool for exacting revenge on the people who destroyed everything she ever had in this world. Although Arthur is not the main hero of the story, as he was in the original series, he's actually by Nimue's side, helping her on the mission. We'll probably get to see him grow as a person and discover who he truly is.
Want this sword so they may proclaim themselves the king of all kings.
Who? Well, now that we've talked a little bit more in depth about the whens and the whats, it's time we pay a closer look at the whos. In this section, we're going to talk about the cast of the series and who are the actors that we're going to be seeing on the set. As we already told you, we're going to be seeing the star of 13 Reasons Why, Katherine Langford, playing the role of Nimue. She even stated that although she is happy Netflix gave her the opportunity to be one of the leading roles in the super popular 13 Reasons Why, she feels that she has grown as an actor and her tastes have matured. She then went on to talk about how leaving the show in its second season gave her the needed breathing room to pursue other roles and explore her talents. That's why she decided to move on and play the role of Nimue. She even said, "We really see Nimue going from being this young woman to an adult, really coming into her womanhood. And I think that's a story or a journey that often isn't told, or we don't see much of it, which means we will be seeing Langford in a completely different light." Next on this list is Arthur, or should we say Devin Terrell. Even though the actor has played the leading role in Barry, where he played President Barack Obama, in Cursed, he is standing behind our main girl, Katherine. And here's how he described his character. The character of Arthur in Cursed is a young mercenary who makes many mistakes. He's definitely not the knight in shining armor or the perfect guy. Believe it or not, Katherine is not the only star on the show. If you thought that Merlin guy looked familiar to you, we'd like to point out that he's actually the guy Floki in Vikings. That's right, Merlin was actually a genius shipbuilder before turning to magic. And you can say he's pretty excited about this new major role. He's constantly posting photos of cool scenes they shot during filming, all of which are available on his Instagram profile. And he better, because Merlin is one of the pivotal characters in this series. From what we saw in one of the scenes of the trailer, we know that Merlin is being haunted or cursed by the sword. And you can even see one giant scar on the side of his body, resembling the sword that's supposed to guide the Lady of the Lake. We've been talking about the evil Red Paladins, but we didn't say anything about their leader. Well, that's where Peter Mullen comes in. The Scottish actor and filmmaker that Corbin Yaxley, one of the antagonists in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2, is back at it again. This time, he is the head of the Red Paladins, who have only one mission in life: eradicate all sorts of people and beings that wield magical abilities. He's full of hate and he's brilliant. We can't wait to see what he does with the role. And on that note, we end this video. But hey, what do you think about Cursed? Are you planning on watching it? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys!